What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing a video on something I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and if you've seen this background, I have a lot of horror stuff, a lot of nerdy stuff that I've just not really shown off to you guys before. I have done a few Neca videos in the past, but I thought I've just never had really the right time or the right equipment for it. But I thought, you know what, now is probably the best time to do it. Now I've had a clean, I've had a dust. So today's video we're going to be doing an entire Neca collection video of all of my figurines. Now I'm not quite sure how I'm going to film this just yet. I've been thinking about this for a long time about whether to do it like on camera or just taking a video of my shelves. It's probably going to be the latter, but let's get into it. I've been collecting Neca for, I would say, a good 5 or 6 years now. I always strayed away from doing it just because back in the day I thought they were quite expensive. But when you look at the quality you get from them and the accessories and like the thought put into them, I think they are really worth the money when it comes to specific ones, especially. Like I ideally do get creatures and horror characters. Not so much like human characters, but most of the time, yeah, I do tend to get horror stuff. So without further ado, I will show you what I have and maybe give you a little bit of backstory about when I bought them or why I bought them. So yeah, let's get into the video. So guys, what I'll do is I'll go sort of like left to right across some of the shelves and just show you what is on there. So let's start off with this one now. First up, starting, we have the Leatherface figure by Neca. This is still one of my favourites, just like the fabric on the apron and the sculpt. It comes with this sort of second head as well of the female looking Leatherface, which I've always thought is really awesome and creepy, hence why I've kept it out on the shelf. Obviously we got the saw as well, the detail on that, just really great figure. And I think if they did a quarter scale of this one, I think I would definitely have to pick it up. Next up we have the Ghostface Ultimate. Like I will say that most of these are Ultimate, in fact all of them are Ultimates. I'm not really a huge fan of the retro ones. I'm just not a big fan of the cloth look. Although that being said, this one is a cloth figurine of the Ghostface one. Comes with a bloody knife, and we've got the voice changer there. Bear in mind a lot of these things come with a lot of optional accessories as well, but these are just the ones that I've decided to display them in this form. Sometimes I do like to change them up every now and again, but yeah. So Ghostface, really cool. Looks cool with the fabric, and you've got like the brown boots and stuff on. There's no unmasked version of this one because they couldn't really get the licenses for the people, so they just have the ghost face itself. Next up here we have the Tim Curry 1990s It TV series version here, and I've got the face of the battery acid burnt Pennywise, which I think is really cool. And it comes with all these different balloons, which are a bit of a pain in the ass to balance sometimes, but yeah, really cool figure. I haven't really messed around with this one, but the detail on the face is really cool, and he's very weirdly shaped with the way it stands up. So next up I'll move on to one of the more recent ones I got, actually, is the Ultimate Hellraiser Pinhead. This one is cool as well. Just like, it's a mixture of sort of the Ultimates plastic and rubbery materials, but it also has a sort of cloth shiny Neo-esque coat in the background as well. And we've got the, what's it called there, the puzzle box. I can't quite remember the name of it, but that's got a lot of detail on too. So I love these figures because you have so much attention to detail, like to the little things. Like obviously that little puzzle box has different art on each side of it, which all represents the stuff from the movies. And and if you get in there, you can see the actual pins in the head as well, which are really cool. I mean, changing heads on this one is a bit of a nightmare because you have to pull the head out, which means bending the pins. So as long as you can get it out without doing too much damage and putting the pins back in, it's not too much of a problem. But really cool figure. Here we have Sam from Trick or Treat, one of the better horror anthology movies we've had in the past, say, 15 years or so. Still waiting for a sequel, but I thought this was a really cool figure as well because it came with a shit ton of accessories. We have this little pumpkin which lights up, and I think when you press the fire in, the LEDs come out of the mouth and stuff, so it's pretty cool. And it comes with this little sack of, well, I'm not quite sure what's in there, probably heads or something, but just the way it's like sculpted to fit into his hand or like next to his hand, I thought it was a really cool one. So we have Sam from Trick or Treat. We have the one and only Chucky, Charles Lee Ray. Now this comes with multiple heads for the versions of Chucky in the different movies. You have like Child's Play 1 and 2, like the one with half a face, and obviously this is the Bride of Chucky one. And I've got him displayed with a hammer, but he does come with a lot of different knives and tools, and I think he even has like the voodoo knife from the first one. But very cool, and all of these are in sort of scale to what they are supposed to be. So obviously when you have these two compared to these in the background, it makes sense. I like to keep this one out with the Good Guys doll box behind it as well, which is really cool. You can display him in the box if you want. Next up we have 3 versions of the newer Pennywise series. So really loved these movies. I'm a big Stephen King fan, if you didn't know already. So yeah, I had to get a few of these. So let's go right to left, because this one's the easiest to sort of get on camera, I guess. So this is the more beastly one. I can't remember what the title of this Neca is, but with these specific arms I've made him transform into like the half spider version. So pain in the ass to get standing up, but I thought it was really cool. This one came with a lot of accessories as well, especially heads. Like one has a head which is all teeth with the deadlights coming out of it. Really, really cool. This is the sort of classic version of Pennywise as well. And that was just holding a balloon. I've given him like the creepiest looking face out of the lot, where he's just staring. You see all like the little cracks in his head. But yeah, really, really cool figure. And then the next one we have is the one from the Nearbolt house, where he's sort of turning into a werewolf. So I really thought that was a creepy face he's got there as well. So, and a different sort of hairstyle. All of these come with multiple accessories, but yeah, so these are the Pennywises. So this next shelf is my sort of Halloween and Evil Dead shelf. I do actually want to make some dioramas in the future, especially like an Evil Dead cabin, but I'll get into it. So let's just start with these accessories at the front here on the Halloween side of things. So we have the pumpkin from the 2018 movie, alongside with the police officer's head, which they find in the car, which has been carved like a pumpkin. We have the Judith Myers gravestone there, 1947 to 1963. I'm not quite sure which one this came with. I'm guessing it's probably from the 2018 one. And then we have some more Halloween 2 things here. So we have 2 different versions of the skull pumpkin from the opening scene of Halloween 2. So let's get on to the actual figures then. This is one of my favourite ones. I was waiting for something like this to come out for a long time. They don't actually have the license for the original movie, but they could still do stuff from Halloween 2, and I think this is one of my favourite Neca figures, one of my favourite Michaels for sure. So we have the Halloween 2 Michael Myers. So he's got all the bullet holes in him from the first movie, he's got the scalpel, and then obviously if you're using this one, you've got to have the bloodshot eyes, where he was well, damaged, I'll say, if no one's seen the original Halloween 2. But very, very cool and a creepy one. I love the Halloween ones, so hopefully we do get to see an original Michael come to fruition at some point. Next up we have the first Michael Myers I got, which he has a bit of a weird leg actually. One leg is bigger than the other, so he's hard to stand up. So I'm using these are the official Neca sort of stands, and it seems to do the job most of the time. So we got him holding a hammer there, and I believe I do have the hand where his fingers have been blown off there. And you can see he has obviously the 40-year-old weathered mask there. So really, really cool design. Probably one of the best masks they've done since the original couple of films, because a lot of the ones in the sequels are a bit trash. Now you can see something in the background there, but I will get back to that in a second. Now this is one of the latest Michaels they brought out, and it's from Halloween Kills, and I honestly think this is probably the coolest looking Michael has done in a while. So we have the fluorescent bulb there as a weapon, and we have the rubbery kids Halloween skull mask as well, obviously a reference to Halloween 3. But I think Michael looks absolutely badass in this movie with the burnt face, and the figure is awesome too. He got like the weathered bloodshot look on it with the bullet holes in his shoulders, but he looks a lot slimmer in comparison to the Halloween 2018 figure. He looks a lot more menacing, but the detail on his face and stuff is really cool. And just the whole Halloween 3 mask as well is a cool effect as well. So yeah, really, really love this figure. And so in the background we have a dual set here. We have the Dr. Loomis and Halloween 2 twin pack. Now I primarily bought this for Loomis because obviously I have the Halloween 2 figure already, but it's a pretty good sculpt there of Donald Pleasance with his gun in his hand. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna have to get this because there's certain human characters that I would get, and this being a twin pack of Michael Myers, you've got to pose in with Michael every now and again. So this comes with another version of the Halloween 2 Michael. This one is slightly different from the one I just showed you with the bloodshot eyes. I'm not sure which one I do like more, but They are both pretty cool. I think this one looks a little bit more sort of washed out in its colour palette, but his mask definitely looks more sort of William Shatner style, but he's got a big ass knife there. But I think, yeah, I think that's a really cool set actually. I wasn't too big on the Laurie Strode one, so I never picked that up, but I think having this one is definitely worth it. And moving on from the Halloween stuff, we're now onto the Evil Dead stuff. Now, I love the Evil Dead films, and these figures are, yeah, really, really cool. I can't wait to see what they do for the 40th anniversary of the original. I know they do have a new Ash coming out from that movie, but yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with it. So we have Linda's head there from the whole chainsaw scene in Evil Dead 2. This is part of the Evil Dead twin pack, which I will show you in just a second, but here are some of the accessories from that pack as well. So we've got Ed there with the head that splits into half with the movable jaw with all the teeth, and then you've got the axe there on top as well, which has all the green blood on. Really cool. We have the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon itself, the tape player, and the stag head. So lots and lots of cool things that came with that one. So let's get to the figures themselves. So we've got the Ash Evil Dead 2 version here, the badass one with the ripped off sort of shirt on his shoulder blades there. He's got the Kandarian dagger in his hand there, which is really cool. The chainsaw itself is actually falling off, and it is down there, but it attaches with such a little weird knob thing that I do need to get some blue tack or something to keep it on there, because it does fall off. We got a pretty good face sculpt there as well. You can see all the blood marks and the stubble and just like the grin and stuff, so really cool with the blood in the hair as well. So that was a twin pack. So that was part of a twin pack which actually came with this one, which is the Evil Dead Ed figure. Now, very similar sculpt to the head you've already seen on the floor there, but really, really cool as well. We got the teeth that can be changed, and not changed, but moved up and down. And I've only just noticed how really creepy the hands and the wrists are and stuff on this. It's really sort of gangly and bent, and really cool figure that you can sort of pose in weird creepy positions. I know he levitates in the movie, but you won't get that with this one. Now on the back part of the shelf here we have the Evil Dead 2 original version. So this is the one which has multiple heads, but we've put on the evil one there. So we've got the evil Ash head there from when he looks in the mirror, and I think it might be towards the end of the movie as well, but I've already got one hero Ash there, so I thought I might as well put the creepy face on this one to see like he's being hunted down by a bunch of different deadites on there. But really, really cool, and I love the whites in the eyes. They've done a really good job with the paintwork on that one, making the eyes just look really like sunken in and creepy. But love this figure. And last but not least on the Evil Dead shelf here is Henrietta. Now I think this is the Ash vs Evil Dead version, because getting the old version is just really hard to find, and honestly I think the sculpt on this one is better. But I actually found this in a shop in Edinburgh, and these things have been long sold out. And when I saw it on the shelf, I thought there's not going to be many more opportunities for me to get this figure. And the only issue was with this one is that it was actually bald. There was no hair on it, and I couldn't figure out if that was just the way the figure was supposed to be, or if it had just fallen out, or it was just a sort of defunct one that no one was buying. But I'll get to that in a second. So you've got lots of gore detail on here with these disgusting belly and holes and stuff just falling out of it. There's so much gore on the back. We got the chest there as well, ripping through all the shirts. But really cool detail figure. Obviously it's on a stand there, which did come with it, so you can sort of levitate this one, which does set the scene. So let's get to the face then. So we actually ordered some sort of grey doll hair, and we thought we can't have it staying bald, so we did our best to sort of give it its own look, and I think we actually did a pretty good job, all things considered. And it was all wiry and gluey, so it does look better in person. It does come across on the camera, but it is really it definitely made it look a lot better than it did. And obviously you can see all the gore and the special effects on the face there, which is really cool. Same with the eyes again, they've done a really good job there. Ted Raimi actually killed it in this role. So yeah, we got the Henrietta there. So onto the top shelf here. This is primarily where my sort of gaming ones are going, and honestly there's not that many out there. I know they're doing a couple of Last of Us ones, and I'm always hoping that they're going to do some more Resident Evil or sort of Bloodborne Dark Souls one, but for now these are the only ones I've got on this section. And we have the God of War one. So we have Atreus there, the small boy with the arrows, which I think I've actually lost a few of these arrows somewhere down this shelf. I will have to track them down at some point, but yeah. You got to have the boy with the father, and I've actually got 2 Kratoses. So this is part of the twin pack which came with Atreus. So you've got this one here who has the blades of chaos and the chains and lots and lots of cool stuff with him. I think he has like fists as well, which are like blue sort of lightning or some kind of power. I'm not quite sure what they are. Maybe it's lightning, but really, really cool. And we have this one here as well, which is just more the generic version of Kratos from the game. He's got the Leviathan axe there, which if you can see, probably not because the lighting is not great there, but it does have all the runes and stuff inscribed on it, which is really, really cool. And the detail on like the cloth work, and I think one of them does have Mimir on the back somewhere, or it can be attached, but really cool figures. But I feel like the left sculpt is a little bit better. It's a lot more detailed and the colours are more accurate. It's more white compared to this pinkish look in the twin one, but I mean, they both look awesome. So yeah, they're the only gaming ones I really have at the moment. Now, moving across, these are 2 of the newest ones I've actually picked up. So these are from the Universal Monsters line. And you can see there we've got a sarcophagus with a bit of sort of papyrus paper in it, if that's how you pronounce it. Really, like I said, the attention to detail and little things like that is really awesome. So from the left there we have the Frankenstein figure. I've decided to pose this one with the flowers in his hand from obviously the scene where he throws the little girl into the lake. But really, really cool sculpt of the Boris Karloff monster there. Really cool. It's very tall and intimidating, and I've not had much time to actually have a look at the accessories and stuff for these ones, but I really think they've done a good job with the sculpt, and a lot of people are happy to see these sort of 1930s, 40s movies get some up-to-date Ultimate figures. And then obviously next door we got Boris Karloff again as the Mummy. Now look at the face sculpt on this thing, it's very creepy looking, just like the little beady eyes sunken into the head. We have the wraps around the shoulders and stuff like that, and you can see a gun aiming at the mummy, not from the movie, but creepy claws, and there are some cool accessories with this one as well. So I might as well just go across from the shelf while I'm here. This is the only Terminator I own. There's quite a few of them, and I thought I really like the look of this Tech Noir one is what it's called, and it's obviously from the scene in the original where Schwarzenegger goes into the club and tries to shoot Sarah Connor. But I think, like I said, I don't get too many human characters, but I know that the sculpt on this one is really, really good on the face. And he's got his laser-sighted pistol, and he's got his like a punk top that he stole from the punk guys in the multi-story car park. So really, really cool. He's got the fingerless gloves. So, I mean, I probably would get another Terminator at some point, maybe the base one from Terminator 2, and potentially an endoskeleton as well. Okay, and another new one here is the MacReady from The Thing. That is one series I cannot wait for them to bring out more of. I know they're doing the sort of the dog monster and probably the spider head, and there's so many things to do from the movie of The Thing, so I cannot wait to see what they get. And I'm going to pick them all up for sure, because it's one of my favourite movies. So he's got this sort of jetpack on the back with the flames coming out. And this is actually one of 2 different models. I'm not sure which one this is, if this is the sort of expedition one or just the normal one. The first one came out, but it's a really cool figure. Like I said, I think the face is a good sculpt, to be honest, but it's definitely lacking compared to some of the other ones like Frankenstein and even Schwarzenegger on the left. But that being said, it's a really, really cool figure, and you've got to get it, haven't you? Okay, so I'm going to do a zoom out for this one, just for size sake. So I actually have 3 quarter scale of the NECA figures, and they are really, really cool. They get to pack a lot more detail into, obviously, a bigger size. There's a lot more to work with. So these are my quarter scale figures up here. We have, obviously, Jason Voorhees Part 4 there with the split fingers, which actually didn't come with the original 4 Jason smaller figure, so that was a really cool addition. It was from a different one, but yeah, love that one. Had to have at least one huge size Jason there. Then we have the Michael Myers, the same figure as before, but obviously this is the 18-inch one, and the detail on the mask in this one is, yeah, really cool. Look at that. So obviously you get more detail packed into the work there, and the fingers and all kinds of stuff here, the knife. So really do love the quarter scales. And last but not least is one I recently got as well, which is the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 Freddy Krueger. So I think this is one of the more sinister looking Freddys they've done in the entire series, and thought it was really cool. I got this as a gift for my birthday, so yeah, really happy with that. We got the detail on the glove there. Really cool figure, and I'm kind of glad that I got this one as my quarter scale just because of how creepy he is in that movie. On a side note, there's a few accessories there hidden in the background, obviously just bigger versions of what you've already seen earlier. We got the head from the Coppin Halloween 2018. We've got another Freddy Krueger head down there looking extremely creepy, and then we got a sort of unmasked Jason there with a machete running through his head. So those are my quarter scales. So guys, this is one of my favourite shelves here. We have the Freddy Krueger and the Jason Voorhees shelf. Now I'm pretty sure I have all of the Ultimates that have been released, and I will be picking up all of the Jasons until I've got them all, just because I really love the look of Jason, just the different masks and the different styles to them. So they are some of my favourites. So I will go through them. Let's go through the Jasons first and foremost then. So this is the same model as the quarter scale you've just seen. This is the Part 4 Jason, without the split hand obviously, and this was actually the first Neca figure I picked up. This was the one that made me sort of jump on the bandwagon, and then obviously became a huge sort of collection for me. So yeah, had to get this one. It's one of my favourite Friday movies. It's definitely one of the more serious, more violent ones. So yeah, really cool Jason. We've got all the blood stains and the mud on the legs and stuff like that. And there's a lot of accessories. I'm not quite sure what a lot of them match up to anymore, but we got a Jason Voorhees gravestone there with some moss growing out of it. I think that's for Part 6. Moving across, we've got a bloody Jason mask there. I think that came with the Freddy vs Jason one. And there is a sort of custom looking gravestone. I think that's from the Dream Jason. So I'll get to the Dream Jason now. So this is essentially a version of Part 4 Jason that you see in A Dream from Tommy Jarvis in Part 5. And this one comes with some pretty wacky masks. One of them is like the sort of neon-y white one with red eyes that you see on the poster, but I decided to have him with the worms coming out of his eyes that they find from the grave. So really cool figure, but essentially it is more of a wet looking version of the Part 4 with more masks and accessories. We got the fireplace here from Part 2, and then we have a gravestone for Pamela Voorhees alongside with her severed head there. So that can only go to one Jason there, and we have Jason Part 2, which I think is seriously one of the most scariest Jasons actually, just because it's like a real dude with a sack on his head. But I had to get this one. Always like Jason Part 2 just because he's so realistic really. He's the only one who really runs and tries to catch people, even though he's not the smartest of the bunch, but I think he looks really creepy with that sack on his head. In the background there we have the accessory pack actually for the Friday the 13th series, and that comes with this whole dock. I'm not sure if you can quite see it there, but it has a whole dock where you can stand your Part 3 Jason on, which is a really cool figure as well. Very sort of muscular looking there. He's got his harpoon from his 3D eye popping scene, but yeah, really cool. I love Part 3 as well. And you got the Crystal Lake sign there in the background as well, which is another part of the accessory pack. Moving on, we've got the Freddy vs Jason there. He's got like the claw marks in his mask from Freddy Krueger, and the flaming sword. And honestly, I think that is one of the best models they've done. Just they knocked out the park with this one. Just like the amount of detail in the coat and the mask and everything. Really good. So yeah, he's extremely tall as well. I think he might be one of the tallest of the Jasons actually. And now we have the Part 6 Jason, one I actually found extremely cheap before they did a remodel of it. I found this for like $15 at a Comic Con, but I've actually got him hooked up to the accessory pack with the boulder. If you can just about see it back there, but this is obviously what sinks into the bottom of the lake. So you just take his head off, attach the chain round, and he's got a floating stand in the background as well. So yeah, that's the CJ Graham Jason. Really cool with his yellow gloves and stuff. Front and center here as well, we have the NES Jason. Now this is essentially Jason Part 3, but repainted in this blue and purple neon look. And I think it looks really cool. I've always liked the look of this one. I mean, it's stupid, but it's really cool. So it's all like the shoes and the axes are all like sort of whites and greys and blues, and it's a really cool looking figure. And one of the best things about this is the box is light sensor. So when you open it, it actually plays the theme song from the game. So I thought it was a really cool addition. But yeah, other than that, really cool. Other than that strap hanging off his head, I need to move that without trying to knock all the other figures over. And last but not least, out of all the Jason figures I do own, we have the Part 5 Jason. Well, I say Jason, it's actually Roy underneath the mask. This is the false Jason, spoilers, but yeah, so they had to get all of the movies in here, so they had to do Roy at some point, and obviously we've got him with the garden shears there from one of the more graphic scenes in the movie, but really cool design here as well. I've always liked the look of the mask with the blue stripes, because obviously you knew something was wrong from the get-go. Well, obviously the mask not being the same as the early movies, but one of the most impressive things about this figure as well is what's actually under the mask here. So we have the sculpt of Roy in the sort of fake prosthetic head that he made, and this is a really good facial sculpt as well. It's just like you can see the different sort of tones in his face, the whites and the stubble and stuff. I'm really impressed with this. So I mean, I will put the mask on just because he looks better with the mask, but yeah, really cool. So that is it for all my Friday the 13th figures. I will be picking up a Part 8, 9 and a Jason X whenever they decide to make any more of them. But yeah, really do like the Jasons. Hiding in the background there is the remake Friday the 13th figure of the Derek Mears Jason. It does come with the hockey mask and all that, but I decided, like I said, I do like the old sackhead version, and this is him wearing the sackhead, and he is even more intimidating in this one. The one scene in the movie which I think I'm posing from is when he runs at the girl who's camping with his machete, and he looks absolutely terrifying. Like, imagine this dude running out. He's like 7 foot. But I really like the design of this one. Another tall one. Just realised that we've missed one. And how did we miss this one? Because it is one of the coolest Jasons for sure. And it's actually the newest one they brought out. And this is the Part 7 New Blood Jason, where he's already zombified. His limbs are exposed. He's got his rib cage and stuff sticking out there. He's got this whole weird sci-fi thing. I'm not sure what he does with it in the movie. It's been a while, but really awesome design. This is the one that people have been wanting for such a long time, and it has just completely ruined jumpsuit, and you see all of his ribs cages and just like bones and stuff sticking through it, and the half broken mask of course as well. You can see his exposed teeth and jawline there as well. And this one actually comes with a head with a mask which sort of splits open at the back like it does in the movie. But really cool design. Had to get this one. It was such a long wait for this one as well, because there was the whole lawsuit thing going on, but when we finally released it, I was first in the line to pick this one up, and love it. So can't wait to see what they do with Part 8. So on to the Freddy Krueger section here now. We have the 2 dogs with the human heads, which are absolutely disgusting, and everyone who enters this household has no idea what they are or why I have them, but they're really creepy, and I do love them, just how creepy they are. And obviously you got to have them in the section with the Freddys. So we've got the original Freddy here, Ultimate. So this is from the original movie. You can see a lot more sort of darker colours on his glove. It's not the sort of goldeny version that you expected from the newer ones. And he's obviously got more of a creepy looking face, more of a witch-like, not witch-like, but the original version had more of a fleshy, rotten look than the old ones. Now his hat looks quite dusty, and I'm honestly not sure if that's just from my shelf or if the figure is supposed to be like that. And I thought, I've got to pose him in one of my favourite parts of that movie, and that's where he chops his finger off and he's like, "Hey Tina, look at this." Really cool. And he's got his fingers that are just green blood, which is never really explained, but yeah, really cool. I had to get the original because he is it's the original Freddy Krueger. Come on. And then next up we have the same figure as the quarter scale I showed you earlier, but we have the smaller version. And with this one I had to have the brain head exposed version, where you can see his brain basically sticking out from when he just rips it off. So definitely one of my favourite scenes in the actual series as well, when he does that. So this is one of the scarier looking Freddys in my opinion. And we got the fire on his back as well, which I'm assuming is probably from the pool party scene. But yeah, I just love the ability to sort of pose them and have the accessories however I want and recreate some of my favourite scenes. And these are from the accessory pack as well. So we have some Elm Street signs. There's another one just there as well, which is more straightforward, whereas this one is more of like a nightmare-y bent one. And in the background here we have the Part 3 Dream Warriors Jason, the one where he comes a lot more witch looking in his features, and I've given him the sort of ripped top with the souls poking out version, just because it's a bit different from posing it like the other two. It looks a lot oranger on camera, but I think that's just the lighting, but it does look the way it should do, really. And behind that we have the giant Freddy snake from the same movie. So this thing is huge, and I had to kind of organise my shelving around this thing because it's so big, but it comes with the floorboards and stuff where it breaks out of. I know it's hard to see, but it's really hard for me to sort of get everything out after I've sort of set it back up again after cleaning. We have this little creepy Freddy figure. I'm not sure if that's from the puppet scene or something else, but it's really weird. And then we've got the dollhouse back there from Christine or Christy, I can't remember the name, from the girl from part 3. Then we have the accessory here of the skull face from the original one. I think that's what he has at the door when he pulls the face off, and I think the face he pulls off is actually this one of Tina's corpse, essentially. So I thought I'd be displaying that down there next to the boiler, the furnace. So this is the Neca furnace accessory as well, which, I mean, I had to do it just to kind of set up the scene. It does have a lighting as well, which happens inside of this little doorway. You can open it and you can see little fire LEDs going off, but my batteries have long since died there. But yeah, I had to get the boiler. And last but not least, here we have the Welcome to Prime Time TV Freddy with the arms ripping out the side, with the antennas coming out of his head. Really cool. And you see how he's got like the sort of greyish hair, where he's the greyish head where he sort of ripped out of the plastic of the TV and moulded out of it. And we have a really cool sort of moving TV visual as well. And this one I just stuck to the wall just because it's, I mean, that's what you would do, right? That's where it is in the movie. But I think a lot of these came with the accessories pack, but yeah, had to get that one as well. And just for little details there as well, I hung up the telephone from the original movie, which Nancy answers, and the tongue comes out of it. You can see the tongue there as well. I thought that was a nice little detail, so I just hanging that up there in the background just to get as much as I could on the shot. So moving on to the final shelf here of the Neca collection, and as you may realise here, this is more of a sort of alien one. So we have the logo here from Alien 3, which was a really cool addition to the Alien 3 Dog Alien set. Just looks really cool with the green lighting. It's from the sort of old school VHS cover I used to have, I think. We have an egg in the background there, and then a chest burster. I'm not quite sure which one this came from because I have multiple of them now. So we'll move to the left here and we'll see what we have. I do apologise, my voice is going a bit here, but we have the xenomorph egg from the Big Chap 40th anniversary here. So this is the egg that has all the sort of tentacles on, so they put a little bit more detail into it compared to this one here. And inside we have a face hugger ready to pop out and just chomp someone's face. And then going down to the bottom here, we have some things from the Alien 3 accessory set. So we have a Queen Alien face hugger, we have a Queen Alien chest burster down there, and this is something that we never actually saw. I think this is their own sort of concept, or it was created from the concept art. And this is like the Queen Alien chest burster. So yeah, I think this is one of the more sort of original pieces that they used concept art for rather than actual scenes from the movie, which I thought was a nice touch. Moving on from that, we have the dog. Unfortunately, the dog from the theatrical version, which gets chomped up. He does have a lot of scars on his face from where the facehugger wraps itself around him. This is similar sculpt to the one from the Freddy stuff, so probably just a facial change. And then just on top of that, we have the Alien 3 Dog Alien. Now, I really love the design of this one. It's very nice colours on it. It's a lot sort of browner and stuff. We've got details on the face as well. But yeah, really awesome. It's quite big as well. I'm not sure if you can quite tell from this angle and lighting, but it goes all the way back onto this other shelf where I'm holding it up sort of by its stand, so it's kind of on its all fours to make it look like it's the dog alien with its big huge bendy tail. So that is that one. Moving on, we have the warrior alien from Alien 2. This came in two versions. There was a brown version and a blue one, and I went halves with someone and I decided I wanted the blue one. So yeah, really cool. It's from obviously Aliens. Quite sure if they actually looked more blue like this in the movie, but It's definitely more iconic. It's more what you see on like I said, the Blu-ray covers and stuff like that, the original covers. This is the James Cameron one where they did not have domes on the head, so this is the look from that movie, and I think they nailed that look really, with all the different sort of Geiger-esque details on the legs and the spine, stuff like that. And then we move on to the original Alien. So this is the 40th anniversary version of the Big Chap, as Ridley Scott likes to call it. So it is basically the Alien from the original movie, which is still really awesome, and it holds up so much today. One of the best movies of all time in my opinion. But this one obviously has the clear skull with the bit of the skull in there, I think, or maybe they took that out, I'm not sure, but this one has the most detail in it, obviously because it's the original, and I think the original design just had more detail in it. But these are all quite tall, I'd say a good 8 inches possibly, I'm not sure, but really, really cool. Had to get the Aliens. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the Resurrection ones, but I think having these versions was probably enough for it. Last but not least, on the Xenomorph front, we have the prototype version. So this is the prototype of the Big Chap, and this is a quarter scale version. Now this is basically what they originally had planned for the Alien. It was not supposed to be black, it was supposed to be sort of translucent, and they did concept for it, and I think it just did not work. I'm not sure what happened, if it was the lighting or the camera work or something, but they decided to go with a black version. But it's essentially the same sort of design as the one you've just seen, but obviously in a more translucent white looking, and I think it actually looks really, really creepy. You can see the skull in this one definitely a lot more, but this thing's pretty huge, and I picked this up really cheap. Like I said, I got this one at a Comic-Con as well. I think I bartered with some guy to get it for a really, really good price. So very bendable limbs and stuff. So that's it for the Xenomorphs. We're not entirely done with the Alien stuff here, so we have a couple of the Prometheus figures as well. I mean, I'm actually a big fan of Prometheus. I really, really enjoy that, so don't hold that against me if you're not a big fan of them. But I think I had to get the Engineers because I do think it's a really cool design actually. So this is the pilot version with the sort of flight suit on, and then we have the Engineer which wakes up from the tank. So these things are huge as well. These are almost like Predator size, but I had to get these. I would have liked to have got the Deacon figure as well, but that thing is really hard to find and really expensive. But yeah, had to get these two, and I'm pretty happy with the result of getting these as well. Okay, moving on to the last section here. So we've had the Aliens, we've had the Prometheus stuff, and now we're moving on to the Predators. So this is the City Hunter from Predator 2. A really, really good design on this one. This one has a lot of weapons and accessories. You can see it has the disc blade there as well, just ready to be thrown and chopping some people up. This one, I don't think the mask comes off on this, but I'm pretty sure it does come with a head, which is a unmasked version, and then we have a human skull there as well, which can be used as a pretty good prop for any sort of horror figures actually, with the spine ripped out. Definitely something good you can just like place down with any other horror figures. I do have the lights slightly too bright in here, but there's a lot of good detail on this with all like the gore and bits of flesh and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm talking more about the skull than I am the Predator, but yeah, the Predator is awesome. Not much more I can say, just it's jam-packed with accessories. Moving on to another skull here. This is actually an Engineer skull from the Prometheus movies, but it's been held by the Ahab Predator. Now this is from the comics, I believe, which I've not actually read yet, but I do own. This is a mean looking motherfucker. I think he's missing one of his jaws, like purposely, because he's a battle hardened Predator. He's actually got Engineer tech there. He's got an Engineer gun, so he is like an ultimate badass veteran Predator. I'm not actually sure if he's supposed to be the elder Predator from Predator 2 and so on, just the younger version, but yeah, really cool. Like I said, this one has a cape as well. It's like a fabric looking cape which you can stretch around the back and make it look however you want. So that is the Ahab Predator. So moving on, we actually have one of the last Predators I remember buying, and I'm not sure on the name of this one actually, but it's the 100th Predator they ever released. So they made a special one, and it's a very primal looking one. It's actually based on the original concept for what the Predator was supposed to look like in the movie, and was supposed to be played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I think he actually like kind of dropped out of exhaustion from working in the heat in the suit. So it's more of like a bug-like creature-looking thing. And the concept that Neca has done is that a Predator has killed that beast and created its armor using the monster of the original Predator. So it's a really, really cool concept, and honestly I think Neca would do a really great job of doing more like this in the future. Really, look at that. Look at the sort of blades made out of teeth and bones and stuff. And it's quite tall as well. I think it's the alpha predator, actually, now thinking about it. I love the skin tone as well. It's more of a sort of whitey, purpley, pinky. Not something you usually see on a predator. And then behind that one we have the huge one, which I think is about 11 inches. Now this is the assassin predator from the latest Predator movie, which, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of, honestly, but I think this thing looked really cool. It was like a 10 foot, 12 foot predator which hunted down other predators. And say what you will about the movie, but this thing looked really cool. Besides the CGI anyway, but I thought I had to get this one just because it's an absolute monster of a figure, and it's not really, it doesn't really have that much to it. It's mostly just kind of naked, but it's huge and it's a badass. And just behind that you can see the fugitive predator from the movie as well, which I thought was actually a pretty cool predator. It's a black mask with some sort of gold symbols on it. And this one actually isn't mine, but someone left it with me and they have not collected it back. So as far as I know, this is mine until they come and get it. Definitely something that does go with the assassin predator. Last but not least is the Predator quarter scale hunter, but it's like the translucent version. I cannot remember the name of the actual figure, but I've done a video on this one on my channel a long time ago because it was quite a I wouldn't say hard one to get your hands on, but it was more of a sort of exclusive, unique one. So the idea behind this one is that it's when it's mid transformation into its cloaking device. So like you see in the first bit when it takes care of Hudson, and it kind of like gets blended in with the jungle and stuff. So the paint job on it is a mixture of translucent black and clear, but then with the colours of the forest, which are obviously what you're seeing behind it. And it does actually have lights as well, where the eyes light up, I think, and the wrist blades and stuff light up a little bit, but the batteries have long since died. With having this sort of concept version of the alien, I thought it'd be something cool to get another sort of concept art, or more of a unique one compared to the original art design. Still need to take some good photos of these figures actually, but that is all of my NECA collection thus far. We will see what I do end up getting in 2022, but for now, that is all of them. So I'm actually filming this a couple days later, but I did actually forget about this shelf. This is my girlfriend's NECA collection. She doesn't have many, but these are all from the Pan's Labyrinth series. So we have the fawn there, and this one has a lot of accessories, like has like a little bone bag on the back. It's been a long time since I've seen the film, but they have a lot of like little fairies and things you can see there on the shoulder that come with it. And we have the book there as well. Moving on, we have Ophelia as well. She has one of the fairies and this little tombstone thing, which I believe is what she finds at the beginning of the movie. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it. Last but not least, we have the Pale Man, definitely the most grotesque of the lot. This one has a lot of gory detail to it. You can see there we have the eyeballs with hands, and just all this weird, like saggy flesh. Definitely horrendous, but very cool as well. And we have these eyeballs there on the plate. So these are the Del Toro ones. I believe there are a couple more out there, but these are the ones that we have, and I think this is probably all the ones we will get. So that is going to be it for my NECA collection video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what your favourite ones you've seen today, or what you think NECA should really bring out. Whether that's some more gaming ones, or some more horror ones that are a bit more niche, or you just haven't seen so far. I will apologise for losing my voice as well. I think I've not really done a video where I've spoken so long in a while. And I did have COVID a few months ago, and it's kind of just not gone away completely. But yeah, I do apologise for the voice kind of just dying a couple of minutes into the video. But do let me know your thoughts, because I'm always eager to see what you guys think about the collection, and tell me about your own collections, of course, as well. Make your own videos. I do want to see people's collections. Anyways, this is going to be it. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.